What is title? What is escrow? A question I get all the time. Today, a friend of mine who's an expert in this field is joining me to explain. Hi, I'm Matt Farnham, and welcome back to the Real Life at Level 10, where I discuss insights on real estate, leadership, and personal growth. So today I have my friend John Sanders with me. Thanks for being here, John.
Yep, absolutely.
John is an expert in the title and escrow field, so I've asked him to join me for this and just help us understand what this is all about. So we're just going to jump right into it with a few questions. Okay. So John, what is title and what is escrow?
You know, there's so many misconceptions of what title and escrow is, specifically for those that are first-time home buyers, because they hear the word title and all they really know is that's where they go when they end the transaction. They go to sign their documents. Right. In theory, what title is proof of ownership that you, in fact, own the home. But there's so much that goes on behind the scenes to make sure that when the transaction closes, that you actually take full and clear ownership to that home. So that's the easiest description of title. When it comes to escrow, that's where you really get into the nuts and bolts of the transaction. At the end of the day, they're getting documents, they're preparing everything, they're getting signatures, and then they're dispersing funds, whether it be collecting funds from the buyer or the lender, or dispersing funds to the seller. So that's really the difference between what title is and ultimately what escrow is.
That's perfect. And title search is a big part of the process. What exactly are you guys looking for when you do a title search?
So ultimately what we're trying to do is we're trying to make sure that the owner of the existing home has the right to sell to the buyer. So a full title search is going to see, are there any debts, are there any liens, any encumbrances, anything on that property that would prohibit the seller from selling to the buyer. So it's a full process. We dive in pretty deep and make sure that when we issue a title policy or we allow the transaction to close, that we've dotted every I, we've crossed every T, and the buyer is going to be the rightful owner when they sign.
Right, and essentially, even if it's items that are going to be with the property after they close, at least they know what they're getting into, like conservation easements, things like this. Doesn't mean that solar is a great example, right? Doesn't mean that you're not going to buy the property, but you just need to know what's coming with it and what you might need to know in the future, right?
Correct.
So last question, we'll wrap this up, but for Bob the buyer and Sally the seller, security is a big issue. What does Bob and Sally need to know about security when they're walking through this process?
First, they need to know that we are absolutely paying attention and taking everything into account in protecting their privacy. We have so many policies and procedures, and our escrow staffs are constantly being trained on new and better ways to do it. But at Chicago Title, we make sure that we do everything we can to protect them. Specifically, speaking of wire fraud, wire fraud is extremely prevalent in our market nationwide, really. It's not just our market. But that's something that we absolutely pay attention to, and we don't want anybody to be affected by wire fraud. So ultimately, we have a saying, it's inquire before you wire. And so work closely with your escrow officer, with your agent to protect yourself.
Awesome. Well, John, this was kind of rapid fire, but I just wanted to shed a little light on title and escrow for whoever watches this. So thank you for being here and for sharing this information. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, so now I hope you have a better understanding of what title and escrow is and the purpose of it in a transaction. Remember, rely on that professional realtor, that guide you're working through the process with, to introduce you to experts in their fields to guide you through that end of it. If you find value in this, please like it, comment, share it, subscribe for future episodes. If you have questions, we'd love to hear from you. You can put that in the comments or send us an email or message, and maybe we can use that for future content for you. The next episode is going to be on iBuyers, so please check out episode 9. I'm going to unpack what exactly iBuyers are and what this buzz is all about. So this is Real Life at Level 10. I'm Matt Farnham. And remember, whatever it is you're doing or working through, do it at a level 10 and live with the results. This week's episode was filmed at our listing at 2154 County Down in the Inspirada community. For more information or to schedule your private showing, contact us today.